The Tommy Campbell Show. If someone gets upset when you're asking questions about a certain subject, it means you're getting closer to the truth. Dozy Donald Trump had a couple disgraceful blow-ups this week with a Quiet Piggy moment with Catherine Lucy that his supporters are doing their best to brush off. But Trump can't escape the truth about Epstein and the fact that there's no greater swine than Trump himself. Did Bubba tell him to squeal like a pig? I don't know. I gotta say the trolling has been nonstop with Gavin Newsom, the internet, and myself hammering his disgusting behavior and his circle of stupid that's defended the indefensible. Before we have a laugh with Trump is a national disgrace trending and fully mocking these clowns, here's a quick clip for context because many have only seen 7 seconds of that Air Force One interaction.
You're going to find out what did he know with respect to Bill Clinton, with respect to the head of Harvard, with respect to all of those people that he knew, including J.P. Morgan chicks.
Sir,
Yeah,
is
Jennifer,
there
go
something
ahead, go ahead.
incriminating in the file, sir?
Venezuela,
Why
sir.
not?
Quiet,
Is it
quiet, Piggy.
On Venezuela, sir, you've had a lot of meetings on Venezuela. I know you can't tell us what your next steps will be, but can you say, have you made up your mind on what you'd like to do as far as action for
I sort
Venezuela?
of made up my mind.
Trump was in the process of deflecting and just putting everything on Clinton and Larry Summers to try and shield himself, who appears in the emails more than anyone. And Bloomberg's Catherine Lucy was basically saying, well, if it's all about them, not about you, then what's the holdup? And he lost it saying, Quiet Piggy, which I think is one of the least presidential moments of all time. In fact, I give it a solid 5 dripping Giulianis on the fail scale. Lucy's received an outpouring of support from other actual journalists, as she should. And the trolling from Newsom and others, it's next level, and I love it. Quiet Piggy with extra chunky Trump and him rog-dogging a pork chop, just having at her there. Quiet Piggy in his real form, showing off his money laundering Epstein ballroom. I swear this is like his true form. If you had some special goggles, this is what you would see. Subscribe. Newsom again, Quiet Piggy eating the pasta in front of King Charles, wondering if Andrew wants to find some girls and have a hot time later. Where is that guy? The cover of Rolling Swine, I made this one. I had fun doing it. I hope you think it nails him well. Newsom, good night, little piggy. Okay, Gavin. The only problem with this is he's napping in like a barn of sorts when we know he's always catching Z's at his desk. That's why I had to make this new time cover. Swine, pig nose, eyes closed, so much energy. This guy naps so much he'll probably try and change the national anthem to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Newsom posted this New York magazine cover. It's the corruption, stupid. Don't know who did this, but wow, fantastic. I love him being called out for the tacky spray-painted Home Depot moldings because that's all they are. Blunt but funny. Here are a few more versions of my Rolling Swine cover. But while we are trolling him, the right wing are doing mental gymnastics to say it's all good.
What did the president mean when he called reporter Piggy?
Look, the president is very frank and honest with everyone in this room. You've all seen it yourself. You've all experienced it yourselves. And I think it's one of the many reasons that the American people reelected this president, because of his frankness. And he calls out fake news when he sees it. He gets frustrated with reporters when you lie about him, when you spread fake news about him and his administration. But he also is the most transparent president in history. And he gives all of you in this room, as you all know, unprecedented access. You are in the Oval Office almost every day asking the president questions. And so I think the president being frank and open and honest to your faces rather than hiding behind your backs is frankly a lot more respectful than what you saw in the last administration, where you had a president who lied to your face and then didn't speak to you for weeks and hid upstairs and didn't take your questions. So I think everyone in this room should appreciate the frankness and the openness that you get from President Trump on a near daily basis. Go ahead.
Very frank and honest. And you should appreciate this. Genuinely trying to say that him being aggressive and rude towards the people seeking answers is a bonus. No, this is great. But there are people that like him because he's like this, because he's a jerk. And that's alarming. It says a lot. but that number is shrinking with his own voters saying they are quite shocked by this particular behavior because they have daughters, this crossed the line, etc. Okay, better late than never, but he's done a lot of stupid stuff. And if you're gonna say that it's a blessing that he's frank and honest, how come whenever he's faced with the truth, he explodes? The idea that he's the most transparent president in history is beyond ridiculous. You can't be transparent while hiding your taxes, your test scores, the Epstein files. It's absurd. I still think the push to brand his administration as maximum transparency just sounds like a bad Steven Seagal film. But speaking of washed up people with mangled faces,
they're getting really riled up about Piggy and about Mary Bruce in the Oval Office. The context, though, matters, doesn't it?
It sure does. I mean, President Trump is like the guy at home yelling at his TV set when he hears these ridiculous reporters. They're not even reporters. They're propagandists, they're lie spreaders. There's not enough disdain that you can muster up for the members of the fake news that have lied to us nonstop for years. Now we have an opportunity with President Trump and the second administration bringing all these new reporters in who are actually asking questions that the American people want asked. And we're getting a much wider variety of stories. I agree with President Trump what he said. I didn't find it harsh enough. He could have used even more harsh words for these absolutely objectionable human beings who've done a terrible job and have divided our country.
And people at home.
As a former Londoner married to a Brit, I got a harsh word that we would love to use with you, Kari. Lucy graduated from the University of Pennsylvania and worked for the Philadelphia Daily News. She later relocated to Iowa, where she spent 4 years covering politics and government. She reported on the 2016 presidential race for the Associated Press and the 2020 presidential election for the Wall Street Journal, and started working with Bloomberg in 2025 as a White House correspondent. Former daytime Fox host Kari is trying to flip things, saying the fake news reporters are controlling the narrative when Trump has been eliminating real journalists to make room for, Brian Glenn? You know, Dog the Bounty Hunter Green's Oompa Loompa-headed boyfriend that gets Botox on TV and cross-dresses and then attacks Zelensky's wardrobe. Didn't seem to complain about this guy not showing up in a tux, though. I spent some time spotlighting Mike Lindell's reporters who have unfettered access.
But we're expanding our voice. Remember, we're in the Pentagon now, we're in the White House, and we're actually in the Capitol, all three. We're the only news outlet that's in all three now. V as in Victor, O, C as in cat, L, like vocal. Like I'm going to be very vocal.
I love that he can't come up with a word for the O or the L. The O is extra troubling because his wife's never had one. And I love that he could have just gone with L for Lindell, but was stumped. And yes, Tom Selleck's slow cousin has the least qualified reporters with the most access. It's true. Kara gets first dibs from Trump because she's not even asking questions, just blowing smoke up his diaper. She's the one that confused Austria with Australia, thinks Canada has a president, and has thoughts on polio. She's a former boxer who was a trainer on The Biggest Loser, which I guess makes her qualified to cover The Biggest Loser. His other reporter is Allison Steinberg, who was a professional makeup artist. I guess if her expertise is giving people the Mar-a-Lago look, then I can kind of see it. But yes, makeup artist turned commentator on OAN, who went viral for being upset over the line of Pride products available at Target. And you know what? That was enough for Mike Lindell to see her and be like, perfect, she's hired. Watch your confrontation with Jamie Raskin.
I assume you believe also that Donald Trump won the 2020 election. And I'm starting to pick up a little conspiracy theory mindedness.
Is that a conspiracy theory or is that a fact? Trump won the 2020 election.
Wait, you think that he won the 2020 election?
I know he did.
You believe some really troubling things. You know that, right?
Oh, I do?
You believe, some lunatic right-wing conspiracy theories. And I'm a little troubled about your mental health, to tell you the truth.
The congressman is troubled about my mental health.
That's
so kind of you that you're so worried about me. But thank you for your concern, and we would love to talk with you further.
All right, good.
Good.
If you think Donald Trump won the 2020 election, you need to spend some time with somebody who can help you through that.
Do you think there's anything flawed with our election system?
Oh, sure. I'm working on it all the time. I think we should have a national popular vote for president, which Donald Trump used to believe in until he decided the Electoral College was on his side, and then he withdrew that opinion, and now he supports the Electoral College.
Do you think the voting machines...
Are you for the Electoral College, or do you need to check with your superiors about that?
Well played, Raskin. It's frustrating to have to deal with such nonsense, but this sort of thing is becoming the new normal. She is a full-on election denier and anti-vaxxer, which is why Lindell hired her. So don't expect any tough questions out of Allison. I assure you, Trump won't be calling her Piggy anytime soon.
People dress up like they're going to bed when they fly. You know, I see people getting on airplanes, and they're having a hard time taking their luggage and getting in the oversized or the above bin. Help people out, be nice, be courteous. And so we want to push people as we come into a really busy travel season. Help people out, be in a good mood, dress up, bring civility back to travel. And I think everyone's experience is going to be that much better.
Okay, can you imagine if Pete Buttigieg was telling people to dress up when they fly? The right wing would have exploded with him making travel gay. He wants us to all dress up. I mean, it's just all bonkers. I completely agree with being a good person, okay? I agree with this. Helping someone with a bag is totally cool. So is staying seated when a plane lands instead of standing in your seats like this for 10 minutes while we wait for the door to open. I think a lot of people dress comfortable when they fly because they're doing their best to make an uncomfortable experience somewhat bearable. Wake me up when it's over. Newsom posted this about Duffy's comment and it cracked me up. He said, thank you. Commercial air travel has deteriorated from the spacious, almost luxury experience of decades past to today's cramped, fee-loaded reality. Duffy's call to dress up feels disconnected from actual conditions. Historically, passengers dressed formally because flights were expensive, elegant, and featured generous seating and multi-course meals. Complaints remain high in both the US, Canada, and Europe. And you think travel is bad? I lived in London for nearly 10 years. Try EasyJet or Ryanair, okay? They're toying with the ideas of standing spots on flights under 2 hours. When was the last time Duffy boarded Zone 8 on an Allegiant flight? I just want to know. The guy's clueless. I have a flight next week, and I was thrilled to find a low base fare, only to find out that that fare didn't even include a personal item. I'm not talking a backpack, okay? I mean nothing. I didn't know it was a thing. Did you know this was a thing? Like, we've reached a new low. But hey, put on a big smile along with that suit you had tailored. I guess you won't have to help the person next to you, though, because they won't have a bag to lift because they weren't allowed one either. At the McDonald's Executive Summit, things I didn't know existed, Trump urged corporate leaders to fight any increase to the federal minimum wage, warning that higher wages would destroy the fast food industry. I think everyone here is just hoping the fast food industry destroys Trump. By comedy law, since Trump was sucking up to McDonald's again, here's an updated version of my dub of his last trip to the fast food chain.
Measure Arnold Palmer. You know it was bigly huge, right? The biggest. We're talking Randy West. If you don't mind, I want to see the 5-second rule.
Absolutely.
Okay, can I make a Big Mac?
You're making fries.
Hello, McMorons. This is Eric's favorite, a Happy Meal. Give it to the 20-somethings in the back. Are we allowed to eat any of those yet?
No.
Hey, did you hear about Arnold Palmer?
No.
His thing was huge.
Whoa.
That's nothing like my mushroom. Stormy said like Toad from Mario Kart. That's a little pickle, a tiny slug. Gotta see, Dr. Jackson, there's something going on. Sores are leaking. Haba said that's not normal. Here's a bag of hot junk. Not as big as Arnold Palmer's junk, though. Thanks for visiting Burger King. Bigly container of salt. That's why Don Jr.'s not here. He'd be all over that white powder. This would drive him crazy. Salt is so good for you, right?
No.
Bobby Kennedy told me that. Hello, look at this, a hottie in a Tesla. Did Elon send you? Elon, I love Elon so much. He's giving me so much money. You are really good looking, you really are. You're like one of my hot dumb lawyers that I never pay. How about some healthy and safe quarter pounders? You know who else had a quarter pounder? Arnold Palmer. Honestly, you could DM me on X or Truth Social, any of the places, send me a message, send me some pictures. Okay, I love you. Wow, do you have cold showers here? Arnold Palmer, it was huge, right? His legacy is way more than golf and drinks. Iced tea mixed with lemonade and a big dong. All right, more McDonald's for the people. Look at that. Well, they can't all be winners. Bring back the Tesla lady, please. Tesla lady. You know Arnold Palmer, right? The golfer? It's true. So big. Okay, now I'm gonna fill the fries, and I'm gonna do it backwards. Because I am totally bigly smart. I have to put all the fries in the other way.
Try again, Mr. Trump.
You know, these are almost as hot. as my daughter, Ivanka. Jared Kushner's a lucky man.
Definitely.
She's so hot.
Yeah, man.
Watch it, sister. I'm in the Epstein files, all over it, actually. Everyone's talking about it. Who's Bubba? What's Bubba? You know, Ghislaine she has a puppy now. That is a small dog, a baby dog. Don't let Christy Nome anywhere near.
Just so you know, I make segments like that old school, no AI. I do all the dubbing myself. It's a ton of work. If you love what I do here, please consider dropping me a PayPal tip, a super thanks. Consider being a member, grab some merch, and if you shop Amazon, use my link. It all helps this show happen. If you actually listen to Sean Hannity instead of being plain rude, you would get the real truth. Oh, but then you wouldn't have your little show anymore, Tiny Tom. I do actually listen to Sean Hannity, and I know how to spell his name as well as plain, unlike you. But the truth is scarce on Fox News, and the misinformation is frequent. It blows Tiny Tom's big mind that after a station paid out nearly $800 million for lying, you're still tuning in like a moron, endlessly poking their sore tooth instead of seeking help. MAGA tears. Sleepy libs can't handle that Don Jr. has energy. The man is unstoppable. Oh, so now that we're frequently seeing Donald Trump falling asleep on television, they have to pivot to Don Jr.'s perkiness? Unstoppable, all one word, 2 Ps. 2 Ps is also what Trump did at his desk while catching some Z's in this last meeting. Maybe don't try and promote the boundless energy of the guy that was caught rubbing his gums at a rocket launch because he uses a key all day but never opens a door. MAGA tears. Commercial air travel. But speaking of washed up people with mangled faces, that's my segue to Kari Lake. I'm sorry, not sorry. And studies have shown it only caused small price bumps. It caused small price bumps. Oh, it's been a long day.
I can confirm the Tommy Campbell Show is the best political comedy show on YouTube. And I hope you subscribe.